up, everybody? I know it's been a bit, but we are about to do something new. I wanted to let you know we do have some updates. We will no longer be called Rhett and Ross Trading. We are changing our name to Forex Mommas because Sarah from the Discord is working with me, and we also have a Telegram, so y'all come check us out. This is just a recap from the trading day of this past Friday with the group on the Telegram. Super chill, super laid back. So everybody have fun. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
How is everyone?
I'm good in Washington.
Ooh, how's the weather there?
How are you guys?
Making it
How
this
are you
morning.
doing?
Making it.
I'm good.
What's up? What's up? All right, just gonna give it a few minutes, let everybody pop on. That way, nobody misses out. Let's see. All right. Okay, first things first, does anybody have any questions just to start us off? Feel free to ask. I don't bite. Anybody? Nobody?
Hey, good morning. What's up, everybody?
Morning.
I guess just recently turned afternoon on the East Coast here.
Yeah, I got a couple hours before that happens. That's a nice chart setup. I was going to tell you, Jay Guns, that's a nice chart setup you posted earlier.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Just trying to follow some of the stuff. I ended up going through a bunch of the mentorship videos. Not a bunch, maybe like 4 or 5 of them this weekend when I had some spare time. So just trying to apply some of the lessons.
For sure. It definitely, I know everyone's going to love those later videos too. They're super short, sweet, simple. I know I enjoy them personally. It just, there's some things that Dylan talks about that I'm just like, how did I not see that before? Like, it's clicking.
Yeah, I've just found that, I feel like I've heard probably what he's saying before in other terms from different people. And I don't know what it is about him. He just makes it seem really easy and simple.
Exactly. And that's what Sarah and I were talking about the other day is that, both of us have watched Cotton Candy. And there's a lot of videos of his that I like. But sometimes if you watch so many videos, you just become overwhelmed. And Dylan seems to basically wrap it all up in a tiny, neat package and make it more understandable.
Yeah, totally. The cotton stuff gets to be like, and this, and this, and this, and you're like trying to follow along. And the whole time he's just like drawing lines, and that's pretty much it. And you can tell he's super smart and has a bunch of stuff going on in his head. But you're right, like Dylan's kind of like the quick notes version of that, but straight to the point.
Exactly. And it makes a difference.
Yeah, like when you see some charts online, you can only trade what you know. You know, like if you don't understand what's going on, you're not going to be able to trade it.
Exactly. And I will say, I know there were some tidbits, and he's been, Dylan's basically been my mentor since I started trading. There was some tidbits that he's been trying to reiterate to me for the past however many years. And it's once you get to know one ticker really, really well, you become an expert at that ticker. And, you can trade more than one, give it some variety, but you have to study and know what you're trading before you can trade it well.
Yeah, sorry if there's a bunch of background noise. I'm actually at a rest stop with my son. We're heading down to Washington, D.C. to go to a museum for the day. But yeah, I was in another group that was like trading all these different pairs and like making call outs for all these different pairs. And when I looked at the charts, like I couldn't make sense of up or down or what was happening. And so a lot of those trades when I was with my demo account just really working out. And I saw the potential with gold. And so that's kind of how I zeroed in on that. I'm encouraging just like master one pair and then maybe build off of that.
Exactly.
She's upset with you.
My dog's in the background whining at me. All right. So I have gold pulled up on the hourly. I know was it Friday? Yeah, Friday night we went over basically just a review of what the chart was showing us and why it went to the downside instead of the upside. I know, and Sarah and myself beat ourselves up over this fact is that, I mean, as you can see on the hourly, that's a big old ginormous head and shoulder. Like clear as day. Whee! And so it only made sense that it would go to the downside with the type of news that we had. We were only really expecting like a 40-ish point move because that's usually what happens on the non-farm payroll days. But the news Friday was more exaggerated than usual, which helped pick up volume and obviously caused this ginormous candle that happened in like 5 minutes. But news, obviously, we know does not move the market. The chart is going to move where it's going to move. Like the setup is already there. As we see on the chart here, it was already set up to do a deep dive. The news just sped it along. And that's why Dylan always says news doesn't affect what the chart is saying. It doesn't. It just helps move it in a faster pace. Like, that's how I look at it. But I know okay, cool. Krill, are you in here? Let's see. I think you're in here, maybe. Oh yeah, you are in here. Okay. Yeah, Dylan's actually coming up with a solution to that. I really can't go into it because he hasn't expanded upon it, but he is working on something to make it to where the mentorship is more accessible to everyone. So it's basically a wait and see. I know it shouldn't take too long. If anything, I can ask him about it today, see if he was able to work on that, and go from there.
It's okay. I will take it as soon as possible anyway.
It's definitely, if you can start with cotton candy just to get like a base of the terms and terminology, then that would give you a good stepping stone into what Dylan goes over.
I will do that and start over all again.
Trust me, I've watched so many videos. I'm about to just, like, my brain's almost mush at this point.
Yeah, but sometimes you need to rewatch it
Yes,
to get the information.
definitely. There was one of them this morning. It was, I think, like a 15-minute one that Dylan did, and I had to watch it twice. One, because the system made me, and two, because there were some tidbits in there that were actually extremely helpful. But does anyone have any questions just to get us going? I know there's a couple that couldn't make it in for this morning, which is totally cool. I am recording, provided my OBS system doesn't break on me.
Cash, you guys talked about starting a small group, and do you guys have a day, and what amount do you recommend being in our small money trading group?
Oh,
Thing.
for the small account?
Yeah, small account. That's the word. I'm tired.
No, you're good. I know Sarah and I are both gonna start with $250. I should be able to transfer my money over today. For some reason, Instacoins was giving me issue, so I'm gonna go the Bitcoin route on Cash App. So I should be able to transfer mine over today, probably after I finish the exam for the mentorship. And then, so we're starting with $250, but if you're trading gold, anywhere between $100 and $250 to start with.
Thank you. Great. Sounds good.
No problem.
And is that going to start this week, or do you not
Yes.
have a time yet?
We're gonna start it this week. We're gonna take it nice and slow. If you want to trade your big accounts, or your other accounts, whichever, you are definitely free to do that. This is more of a small account build than a challenge. It's basically just to show, anybody that has, $50 or $100 that it can be done. The whole point is patience and discipline. Stuart, yeah, you can start with 400.
Sounds great. Thank you.
No problem. I'm actually really excited to do this with everyone. I love small account builds. It's a love-hate relationship. I love it, and it annoys the heck out of me because I'm used to trading those bigger lot sizes. So it's like I got to retrain my mind. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. And that's another thing that Dylan, something that he mentioned in the mentorship that I really enjoyed, was always leaving a runner when you're in a trade. So I think I'm going to start doing 0.02s because I'm used to doing 0.2s, so why not do a 0.02? And that way I can leave a runner at all times. We're going to try it.
Oh, that sounds fun. I've just been trading gold with 0.01 instead of like a demo account, just a little tiny account. And I just, I was, now that I'm watching the mentorship and listening to you guys, I realize I'm always going in on the first breakout, always. And I always get stopped. And so I make so many mistakes.
No,
So
and you
I'm
know,
looking forward to
and that's
being
okay,
with you guys.
because it's like, and that's what I mean, like, there's a lot that I'm sitting back and I'm like, man, you know, like, if I had done this instead of this, you know, I could have gotten this. So I definitely understand that. And that's something Sarah and I have talked about when we go in on a move, you know, trying to wait for the retest before actually going in instead of that first initial move.
No, sorry, I just popped in and I just heard what she had said about the entering on the first breakout. Now, there's nothing wrong with entering on the first breakout. Sorry, you're going to hear my kids in the background. I just picked them up from their grandparents. But there's nothing wrong with getting in on that first breakout. But you just have to remember in the back of your mind that it could come back to retest. So do you take the risk of a risk-free trade and put your stop loss at break even? Or do you have in the back of your mind, okay, we should have a retest, which means that if we can't make a higher low or a higher high kind of situation, or a lower high, okay, I need to close out my trade. Does that make sense? Because the chart tells us if there's going to be a bounce or a reject.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I look back at my trades and I see that I get out way too soon because, as Cash says, have patience. I don't. So
you're not the only one. I used to take dollars, pennies, until I learned how to read a chart and to understand how to find the structure, which they talk about in the mentorship, which is higher highs, lower lows, lower highs, blah, blah, blah. Learning how to read the structure makes a big difference on knowing where and when and why you close out a trade or if you hold that trade. So taking that breakout, I trade off the breakouts. I'm really bad about, I trade off the breakouts because I add to my positions. So on the retest, I'm adding to my position. I'm not closing my position. And that's something that just with trading, it's a little while to kind of figure out how to do add-ons. But you still want to have a smart, stop loss and things like that. But so entering on that breakout's not a horrible thing. You just have to know or
make sure your risk is worth, the trade.
Exactly. Because, sometimes it doesn't retest. Sometimes it does retest. So it's just one of those things. If you're going to be a trader who trades the breakout, you have to just know, okay, I'm going to close here and then I'm going to re-enter. Or I'm going to hold my trade, keep my stop loss where it's at, and then add to my position on the retest. That's where you have to figure out what kind of trader you are.
And that's also
it's really helpful because I look at both of your guys' charts and I can see where you guys keep getting in, on the retest. So thanks for explaining it.
Well, and that's
exactly what you're doing.
A lot of the times, because I know there were a few times, I think this week, when it did come back, retest, and it would actually hit our stop loss, and then Sarah would pretty much immediately put in the VIP, hey, I've re-entered. And that's because she had her stop loss at break even. And she knew, it was already showing signs of coming back to where it's supposed to. So that's why she re-enters on that retest area.
Thank
Yeah,
you
and I'll
so
just
much. This
add-
is like so helpful.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll add to that too. Like, I'll be straight up. I've only been trading live this week, and I started with $100, but trading 0.01s on $100 feels pretty safe. It feels like I can learn while I'm making live trades, which is great. And the upside potential is awesome because you're risking like $4 and can make $5 or $10 or even more if we see these big moves.
Exactly.
But also, like, if you're trading a breakout, once you get above your entry level, just change your stop loss to like where you make 50 cents. If you stop out, then just wait until you see the bounce on that pullback, and then you can re-enter there. So you can kind of do both, because if you're afraid of like missing the trade because you're not taking the breakout, you could take the breakout, set your stop loss at break even or a little higher, and then if it does hit, oh well, then just keep watching for that moment when it pulls back and bounces. That's kind of, I'm kind of in between both those strategies.
That's extremely accurate. Stop losses are a lifesaver. The whole point is to protect your trade, your capital. It's to keep your account from, to keep you from losing everything. There was a time when I didn't trade with stop losses at all. And
You are not alone on that one.
oh man, like so many regrets.
That's just crazy. So many times.
We
learned.
learned.
It's the part of truly not understanding how the stock market works. People think, most beginners and people who don't trade the stock market really do think that it either goes up or it comes down. And that's not the truth. It is a constant up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then a breakout. And not knowing that there's key levels. So if it breaks, for instance, kind of what we were talking about on Friday, hey, if it breaks this 1880, it's going to go here. It's not going to go back up. So knowing where a key level is to set, yes.
Look what I found outside.
Yeah, you found that in the shed. Can you please go put it back?
No, I found it outside.
Okay, go give it back to Oompa and your dad.
There was outside.
But knowing where, like, for instance, my buy order that I had on Friday, I knew in my head that if we broke 1880, it was going to keep falling. I knew that we had an OB level in that 1883 range, and I knew that if we came there could be a bounce, but most likely if we came not far, it was going to continue to go down. So I put my stop loss there with the hopes that we wouldn't break 1886, but we did. And that's where that 1883 came into play. So knowing where the key areas are and knowing if I'm holding a position to cut that loss, because it's going to keep going. And just because it goes down does not mean it has to come up, because as a lot of you probably have noticed, when when things fall, they fall really, 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 really fast. But when things try to work their way back up, it's a very slow process. So anybody who's holding something at 1900 and they're thinking it's going to come back up, oh, it's going to come back up, can't go any further, can definitely go further down. 1830 is looking very, very juicy. So just one of those, you have to plan your trade. If you have not planned your entry, you're gambling.
this is actually like the moment in time when like I feel so bad for Rimmer. No.
Yes. With
Oh
that
man.
law. Oh.
Just because like, you know, she was holding on to that 1845 and like but and you know, that's one of those things. If you hold on to a trade thinking that it'll come back, there are times that it does, yes. But majority
you
of the
can margin
time,
out your entire account before it comes back down.
exactly. I tried to do that with AUD/USD a few years ago when it had that major drop from 0.77 down to I think it was like 55 or 52, and I was in a buy position at like 70. Needless to say, my account margined pretty quick.
Hey, backdraft is in.
What's up? What's up?
There's some people in here who've pretty much been on the journey. We've all been on it together, and X Backdraft is one of those people. So, was just saying hi.
All the OGs in the house.
Anybody have any questions? I'm gonna hop off here. Cassandra, you can take it back over. I gotta get ready for work. Everybody have a wonderful Sunday. Happy trading. Just remember, Sunday nights can be kind of slow, so let it open. Let it feel the market out for a little bit. We've had a lot of things happening between these Chinese balloons and, you know, a whole bunch of other things that are going on. So let the market figure out what it's going to do before you jump into any trades. Typically, I suggest waiting until about 6:30, 7 o'clock before jumping into anything, because if you pay attention, you'll see that it will start looking like it's going to do something, and then really it's just retesting a level to be able to actually continue in its true move nature. I can't tell you how many times I've entered a trade and be like, go red, and be like, oh wait, nope, it's going the other way, and then I get out because it's consolidating, and it gets a little, your emotions start to kind of play a little bit with you. So I do suggest waiting like an hour to an hour and a half after open on Sundays, or any day really, before you enter your trade.
Unless I see a spot on setup, I probably won't trade tonight. Because Sundays, like Sarah was saying, Sundays is usually the time that it starts to set up for that Monday morning trade. And so it'll be tomorrow morning before it really gets to moving in the direction it wants to go.
Yeah, and I was just going to add to what Sarah said about planning your trade, and something that you guys said on the call on Friday night that really made sense to me is, I don't know how many people in here trade off their phone, but I'm trading at work every day, and so really the phone is the first place I look, and then I can look at my computer. But as you can see, like what Cash has up here right now, we're looking at multiple days of a chart, and so we can see kind of where price is coming from and where it might be going, and see kind of the whole plan. But if you're trading off your phone, just be careful, because I know I'm going to start watching for this as well. Like, you're only seeing that momentary move. Like if I'm following, a 15-minute chart, I'm only seeing like the last maybe hour or 2 hours of price, where there might be a level that price is heading to that's very obvious on a daily chart from a day ago or 2 days ago. And even what Cash was showing with the head and shoulders, that was pretty clear that we could have seen on Friday. And I know I get caught in the moment just trading off my phone. So just, being careful with planning your trade, looking at the chart, kind of understanding what you want to see. So that way, if you are trading on your phone, you can keep those levels in mind.
To tag onto that, that is 100% accurate. I trade off my phone a lot. And Sarah will never let me live this down. But as we see over here, this was a gigantic, well, not really gigantic, but this was a good sized inverse head and shoulder. And And she's like, I called that. I said it was an inverse head and shoulder. I told you. And I kept telling her, no, it's not. I don't see what you're talking about. Because when I was trading on my phone, let me pull it up here. I'll do a little rectangle. All I could see was this move. So, of course, I'm looking at it and I'm like, where the heck are you seeing an inverse head and shoulder? I don't know what the heck you're talking about. And then when I opened my computer and looked over here, I saw the entire move. So it definitely makes a difference what screen you're looking at. And if you are going to use your phone, make sure you're looking at the bigger picture. But does anybody have any questions? I know that's pretty much what we covered Friday. Just the fact that if it had broken, when it was pointed out, and, when we don't listen to our own TA, that's when things go wrong too. But when it was pointed out that 1901, if that broke and couldn't hold, then it would head on down to that 1880. I don't think any of us were expecting it to break 1880 just because that is a huge level on the daily. But it did. So obviously we're going down to test a lot of those lower levels before eventually working our way back up. I don't bite, everybody. But if no one has any questions, I'm going to pop off. My son will be waking up soon. He had a late night. Yay me. And, it's Sunday, so got things to do.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And y'all are free to message Sarah or myself anytime if you do have questions.
Yeah, thanks for getting this together.
No problem. I know I'll be taking the final exam for the mentorship today, so that'll be fun too. I hate tests.
Let us know how it goes. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Okay, have a nice day, everyone.
Y'all too. Have a nice day.